Hello, my name is Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching Video Voters Guide. We are at MetroEast Community Media interviewing candidates for the November 2018 general election. With me today is Sheri Malstrom, running for state representative from District 27. Thank you for joining us today, Sheri.
You're welcome.
We'll start off with, why are you running for office for the legislature?
Well, I'm running because I ran last time and I was elected and I enjoyed the work that I did. I felt like it made a difference and I would like to continue to do the same.
Fair enough. What's your top priority for the coming session? How will you hope to or work toward accomplishing it?
Well, there's many different priorities I have, but if I had to pick one, I would say, because my focus is really on building a healthier community. I had a long career, 30 plus years as a public health nurse in Multnomah County Health Department. I saw how, health interrelates to basically everything that we do. And therefore, the big thing that's going on in not only our communities, but in the country, is the effect of the opioid crisis. It is taking, away workers from our workforce. It's making people not be productive citizens. It's wasting a lot of potential. It has impacts on the criminal justice system, the education system, on and on and on. So I would like to, be a player in solving some of those problems that relate to the opioid crisis. There's no magic one bullet. There's many different things. But I would like to specifically target a program called Drug Take Back. It is a way of getting unwanted opioids out of circulation. We know that the majority of people that go down that path to addiction, they're not bad people. They didn't intend to do this. They started by either having a chronic pain that didn't get treated successfully, maybe started self-medicating, all those kinds of things. But ultimately, they find themselves on a path of addiction and a downward spiral. And often they start by getting pills from somebody else. Their doctor maybe won't prescribe it anymore, variety of different reasons. And sometimes they're just teenagers, dangerously exchanging pills with other kids. And these substances are so highly addictive. We understand that more now and better than we ever did before. So, like I mentioned, getting these pills out of circulation and having a way to make sure that this happens in a coordinated state way. Because right now what's happening is different communities often using their community policing, the sheriffs, whatever, or the goodness of the heart is some of the health plans will have a box here or there on certain days, certain months. It's kind of a hodgepodge. We would like to make it a coordinated system. It'll be a lot less expensive that way. I've been working for the last 2 years on this. I think we're getting closer and closer. I've been working with the governor's office on this, and we're going to try to, again, work with the pharmaceutical, companies that are more interested in working with this time around to really finally get that piece of the opioid crisis dealt in. And then we're going to look at some other aspects of the said crisis as well. But that's the big one that I've been working on and hope to get over the finish line this session.
Great, thank you. What steps will you take to ensure more Oregonians are qualified and hired for Oregon jobs?
Well, first of all, to get a good job, you have to have a good education. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to have some graduate degree. Right. It means that you have to have education and training in something that somebody will hire you to do. And, that starts really way back in the educational process. I serve on the Early Childhood and Family Supports Committee, and it starts way back there. And I think that we need to make sure that kids get an adequate education. I think that this is the biggest part of the state budget is education. We may need to make sure that we're hitting our goals and benchmarks, more fully, that we have better graduation rates, all those sorts of things. But the focus really needs to be more and more on career and technical education. Not everybody is going to do the more academic route. We need to make sure that all people have, the education that they want to do, that we help them achieve whatever it is. I think when I went to school, it was kind of like, you were expected to go to college, and if you didn't go to college, oh well, you were just kind of floundering. We want kids early on to be exposed to different choices and know what they want to do, and be able to get a good job, because everybody needs a good, a job that can help pay their expenses in life.
Certainly. Thank you. Well, on that subject, how can the legislature provide stable, adequate, long-term funding for public education?
Well, that's ultimately the big question.
Right.
It really is. I think in the legislature, most of the difficulties that we have, revolve around how we're going to pay for things. We have a lot more good ideas than we have money to implement them. So we have kind of a screwy system here to pay for things. It always goes back to two things. One is, watching your spending, making sure that what you do spend is, properly done, that there aren't wasteful spending, and sometimes what starts off good needs to be reevaluated. And then the other thing is, raising revenue in some fashion. There's, many different ways to look at that. It could be anything from fees to new taxes. It could be a variety of ways to look at corporate, tax structure. There's many different things. And we're, as a group of legislators, we need to work together in hopefully a bipartisan way to solve that. But that's where it's got to come from, not the initiative process, not bickering and fighting about things that aren't going to make a huge change. I know that we want to always look at PERS, because that's a huge thing, but there's not some big magic thing to fix the system with fixing PERS. We need to keep our promises to the public employees, and continue working to find solutions other than talking about that endlessly and getting nowhere.
Right. Well, you anticipated my PERS question, so we will skip that one. Are there other areas of particular concern for you that stem from the district that you represent, in addition to the opioid work?
Education is really big in my district.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people are looking, in Washington County, we have a strong economy. I think people are trying to figure out how they are going to be able to afford their housing, because housing is going up and up and up.
Right.
And even though my district has a pretty good employment rate and education rate, I think that everybody is really nervous because they watch, the rents go up, the house, even the people like myself who own a house, and it's all nice that your housing price of your house is increasing, but you watch everybody else around you and wonder, oh my goodness, what would happen if I was in that position? Those of us that are lucky enough to have stable housing, I believe, have to help, be part of the solution for everybody else, because we're all in this boat together, and how everybody else is doing is affecting everybody else. And I have, some different community meetings and town halls and things, and people that come generally are people that are okay with their housing, but they're really worried. And I think we need to pull everybody together for solutions. I've been working with some of the different housing advocates, had a house party recently to try to support, affordable housing measures, mm-hmm. things like that. I think that we need to continue to work on that solution.
Well, thank you. We've run out of time, so I appreciate your being here. This has been the Video Voters Guide, and thank you for watching. The general election is Tuesday, November 6th. The last day to register to vote is October 16th. We urge voters to visit the League of Women Voters of Oregon website, and particularly to go to vote411.org. It is a comprehensive site where a facsimile of your ballot will come up with links to all of the races. Many candidates also post YouTube videos and other material there for your education. Be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and ballot measures, exercise your right to vote, and invite your family and friends to do the same. Thank you for watching.